Final Fantasy VII Remake is finally on Xbox, and it's been awesome returning to Midgar with Cloud, fast, stylish combat, RPG systems, and Shinra in our sights again. Back in 2020, many players experienced Remake at a time when much of the world was locked down due to the pandemic, and then revisited it again in 2021 with the release of Intergrade on PS5 and PC. So was the third time any less entertaining on the Xbox Series X? Absolutely not. Midgar continues to be a visually stunning and entertaining place to be. The dystopian metropolis is the perfect stage for an adventure that is an absolute banger to play through, even after almost 6 years since its initial release. It is an adventure that is worth playing in 2026 on the Xbox, even when there's a dearth of great titles that are as good as available to play today. Just like its PS5 counterpart, the Xbox Series X version comes with two visual modes, graphics and performance. The former targets 30 FPS at 4K resolution, and the latter renders the game at a lower resolution of 1520p, but at 60 FPS. On the Series X, performance was solid across the board, with only a few hiccups here and there, so as far as performance is concerned, this is as stable as the PS5 version. The developers have ensured that the Xbox version's visual fidelity remains on par with the PS5, although load times could have been a little quicker. That said, this isn't a deal breaker, and Xbox's Quick Resume helps offset the issue by effectively eliminating cold start loading. Beyond that, the presentation closely matches what you get on PS5. That means the excellent lighting and character models for the main cast are back, which is always a good thing in a title where story is such a crucial part of the experience. A few rough textures and some NPC faces that look like they belong in a long past era of gaming are still present here, but they're largely easy to ignore given the overall level of polish on display. The combat's as good as it was too, and the balance between real-time action and the ability to pause and issue commands to my party members is a great balance between the genre's traditional turn-based trappings and a more fluid approach. I did tend to stick with Cloud and Barrett for the most part, but that's just me, and I'm pretty sure plenty of Xbox players will dive in, experiment with different setups, and find satisfying ways to synergize the party's attacks against the game's many enemies and its sublime boss encounters. Now, if you haven't played this before, know that the combat will have you using every tool at your disposal to gain an edge even on normal difficulty. The early hours often have you leaning on Cloud's melee prowess and Barrett's ability to attack from range, but that changes as you recruit more allies and start weaving them into your battle strategies. If you switch on performance mode, which I'd highly recommend, the animations feel fluid and immersive. Combat feels like a dance, with you choreographing attacks that look like they've been rehearsed countless times, and the elegance with which your characters pull off their moves is among the most satisfying things to watch. Now, that's great news in a game that has you facing enemies almost constantly as you explore the world and progress through the story. The boss designs deserve a special mention just as they did on the PS4 version, and their patterns and behavior are going to have you glued to your screen as you try to identify openings for your attacks and moves that you're better off defending against. You're going to find yourself hunting down upgrade materials to get your party up to speed, and the game's difficulty spikes are consistent for those of you who take a diligent approach to exploring Midgar. Unlocks come at a steady pace, and the game's UI does a good job of showing you everything you need for your next big progression level. The menus feel seamless, and the RPG mechanics come with a relatively gentle learning curve. That helps you stay focused on the story, which is a major highlight of the experience. Cloud's fight against Shinra and his eventual confrontation with Sephiroth is a compelling tale on its own, but the journey in reaching there is a crucial part of what makes this game so special, as each character brings its own set of charm, wit, and unique personalities to the mix. I can't get enough of Barrett's earnest pleas to save Midgar, and the manner in which his personality often contrasts with Cloud. Their relationship flits between somber reflection and witty banter, in a way that's both relatable and amusing, fleshing them out quite well. The entire cast is brought to life quite well, but if I had to pick a standout character, it has to be Aerith. She brings a measure of grace and sincerity to the party, and her character arc is a personal highlight of the entire story, as I'm sure it's going to be for a lot of you who are diving into this one for the first time. I was glad to see episode Intermission to be a part of the deal by default on the Xbox version of this game, and you're going to have an absolute blast with Yuffie's shuriken. She feels like a sort of hybrid between Cloud and Barrett thanks to her ability to be effective at range, while also being quite potent when she's getting up close and personal with her enemies. Of course, it is disappointing that Sonnen isn't playable outside of the commands you can issue to him, but that's been a complaint players had even on the PS5 version. However, the story on offer in Intermission ties in so well with events in the main story that I'd recommend it to anyone looking to immerse themselves in this universe. There's also a number of minigames scattered across various locations in the game's world. Now, I'm a sucker for that kind of thing, and found myself putting my current objectives on the back burner to just relax and enjoy it for a few hours. It can easily have you losing track of the time you spend on it, which is saying something considering how everything else in the game is equally good. The level design is decent, although a tad linear, as is the dialogue delivery and sound design. However, players who played on PlayStation previously will miss the haptic feedback from the DualSense controller on this version of the game. It's a noticeable difference, but that's a limitation that comes down to hardware, and if you've been on the Xbox for this generation of consoles, it isn't something that's likely to bother you. So, would I recommend Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade to you if you're curious to see what the fuss is all about? Absolutely. It's a great choice for action RPG fans, or those of you who love an interesting bunch of characters and excellent gameplay mechanics. A sublime combination of both of those elements is definitely worth your attention in my book. Any completionists out there are sure going to have a field day, as this one takes a tidy while to achieve 100% if that's the route you want to take. It's also great that this one's a part of the Xbox Play Anywhere collection, as you get to seamlessly continue your playthrough on other devices that let you access your library of titles. Whether you're a genre veteran, somebody who's already completed the game on the PS5 or PC, or an absolute newbie, this is a game that's going to have you entertained and itching for a sequel once you roll the credits on it. So, what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead and share them in the comments below. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates. We upload every day and would really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.